you are welcome to this session. It is session 4 of Unit 3 of Methods of Teaching Chemistry. This session is looking at problem-solving method. Let's proceed to look at our objectives. Our objectives are to explain the procedure for undertaking problem-solving as a method of teaching, state the essential features of problem-solving method of teaching, and state the merit and demerit of problem-solving method of teaching. So let's look at the problem-solving method. It is a planned attack upon a difficulty for the purpose of finding a solution. We attack a problem, but we plan to attack so that we find solution to that problem. Generally, a person uses his ability to solve problems which confronts him. So, in this case, students are guided to use certain skills to solve real-life problems. So there will be a real-life problem, and then you guide students to solve such problems. The method helps find practical solutions to problems. It could be a problem in the community, a problem in the school, which you are using a chemical concept or knowledge from chemistry to solve that problem. Now, it helps to solve problems in abstraction as well. And we look at the procedure for problem solving. If you are using that method, what do you have to do? One of the stages is selection of a problem. At this stage, the teacher works closely with the students to embark upon finding the solution to the problem. Now, the problem selected must be of significance to the needs of the students or the community. And so you have to do this in close, or you have to do this with the students. 2 is posing the problem. So you have selected the problem, you pose it. Here the teacher introduces the nature of the problem for discussion, but then he must give the students ample opportunity to discuss the various aspects of the problem. Why would the teacher have to do that? To help them become aware of the nature of the problem and what is expected of them. The next stage is the planning the solution. And this is where to plan how to begin solving the problem. So the students are going to do that, but they might not be matured enough to undertake this solely. So the teacher would have to help the students to plan. The students should be heavily involved in the planning so that they'll be able to note the information that will be needed as well as how it can be found. But the teacher would have to guide the students on this. Next is selection of materials to use. At this part, what the teacher you would have to do is to present them with a large collection of a variety of materials from which information could be gathered. Then the students are encouraged through discussion to supplement the teacher's collection. The next is now finding the solution. And here, the teacher should set the student to investigate the problem and to look for all they can about it and encourage the students to accommodate different points of view. So after the students have found solution, they have gathered data and everything, then now you go to the last stage, which is discussion of finding. It is important to note that conclusions should not be accepted without thorough investigation, usually through discussion. Only accept a conclusion, a drawn conclusion, after the problem has been thoroughly investigated. So these are the steps involved in the problem solving. Let's look at features of the problem solving method. The problem chosen must have some educational value. Remember that we are learning and students are learning. So whatever problem you choose should have a link or should have an educational value. The students must have background knowledge of the problem. They are going to transfer learning. They are going to apply something that they have learned. So if you present them with something that they don't have any idea about, then they will even lose hope in learning, because they will feel that what they have learned already is irrelevant, as they are not able to apply it in real life. The problem should be worthwhile, interesting, and meaningful for the students, and the problem must be related to real life situation. The solution of the problem should be the outcome of the students themselves. The teacher may have solutions to the problem, but it is important to keep it and wait for the students to find solutions themselves. They would appreciate concepts than when you give them the. There are merits and demerits of the problem solving method. So let's look at the merit. One is that it helps to improve and add to the existing knowledge of the students. The problem you have given them has a link with what they already know, but in the course of the investigation, they may come across something that they would have to add to their knowledge. It stimulates the student to think critically. They may come to a case where they really have to think to, even in selection of a material or something to use, they would have to think critically to select the right material, and they will have to think critically in order to analyze certain things in the problem. It helps the student to learn to be self-reliant. It's a problem that the student himself is solving, and he is not relying on any person to do that. He's applying what he knows with some guidance, little guidance from the teacher. Then he becomes reliant. It helps the student to develop their reasoning power, and it helps them satisfy their curiosity on an issue. Let's look at the demerits of problem solving. One is that it is time consuming. Remember, this method activities involve long-term assignment stuff that the students might even end up spending the whole term on just a problem, finding solution to just a problem. It is really time consuming, and we can't use to teach a lot of concepts. Moreover, young students do not have sufficient background information about the issue, and the method may be too advanced for the students. It may lead to dislike for other kinds of study. In a case where students are presented with, let me say, a good problem, a problem that what they have learned is really working, they are appreciating what they've learned, they are applying it to the problem, and it is working, they are really finding solutions. They become so much interested in that very field or that very concept or subject, and so they develop much interest for it. That will lead to a dislike for other kinds of study. Even in the same subject, using other methods, they might not even like it that much. We end this session with these self-assessment questions. I encourage you to try.